Uh, Hello everyone, very good evening. Am I audible? Is my voice clear? Please do respond in the chat box so that we can start the session. All right. So, in the last session, we started grassland biomes and we have discussed savanna or your tropical grassland biome, right? So, in this session, we'll try to complete the biomes, at least most of it, so that tomorrow we can start biogeochemical cycles. Okay. Uh, so this week I'm planning to finish biogeochemical cycles. Of course, in this class we'll complete the biomes. We'll start biogeochemical cycles tomorrow, and the concept of ecosystem and the functions of ecosystem and the types we'll discuss on Wednesday. So this is the these are the things which we are going to deal this week. All right. So we'll start with temperate grassland biomes. As the name suggests, these grasslands they occur in the temperate region. So around 30 to 60 degrees north and south of the equator. All right. So these are temperate grassland bands, and of course, as the name suggests, the temperatures, especially during the winters, are low, and most of the precipitation which we have in these biomes occurs in the summer. There are wide temperature fluctuations in the seasons, so summers will be warm and in winters it can be very cold. All right. So temperate grassland biomes. So these are terrestrial biomes. So mainly your biomes are classified into terrestrial and aquatic, right? So terrestrial biomes, till now we have seen terrestrial biomes and we'll continue aquatic biomes. The aquatic biome will look at it at the end, right? So it is a terrestrial biome. So it has vast expanse of grasses and few trees. So it is mainly dominated by grass, as in the case of your tropical grassland biome or savanna. Same यहाँ पर भी है, but grasses dominate the biome. There are few trees. Obviously, we'll see the examples. कुछ trees हैं, but most of it will be mainly it is dominated by grasses. So they are found in the areas with temperate climates, as the name suggests. So usually in the interiors of the continents, they can be found on every continent except Antarctica. बाकी सारे continents पे तुमको मिलेंगे. So temperate grasslands are located between 30 to 60 degrees latitude in the inner parts of the continents. So not on the coastal region, but inner parts, interior. So temperate grasslands have hot summers and cold winters. So this is one of the most important climatic characteristic. रेनफॉल जो है वो मॉडरेट है, स्पेशली समर में होता है. ओके, विंटर ऑल्सो रिसीव्स a bit of rainfall, but it is mostly in the form of snow. All right. So the amount of annual rainfall influences the height of the grass vegetation. So grasses luxuriant growth होगा या कम होगा, it depends upon the precipitation. So soils in these grasslands, they are deep, they are darker, and they have lot of organic matter because grasses they produce lot of biomass. So जो grass soil surface के ऊपर grow हो रहा है, that means the stem portion. More than that, so stem portion, जितना stem portion grow हो रहा है उससे 2 to 3 times ज़्यादा उसका root का portion होता है. So they generate a lot of biomass. So all these root part which remains in the soil after the grasses die, this organic matter will be added to the soil. So the organic matter content of grassland biome is very high, and especially temperate grasslands में, as the name suggests, temperatures are low. So when the temperatures are low, the decomposition, the rate of decomposition will be slow when compared to tropical regions. So तुम्हारा जो tropical rain forest है या फिर tropical grasslands हैं, they also produce lot of organic matter, but organic matter does not remain in the soil for long. It will decompose faster because of high temperatures. But in case of temperate forest or temperate grasslands, the organic matter decomposition will be little bit slow. So यहाँ पर sequestration ज़्यादा होता है, organic carbon sequestration will be higher, decomposition rate will be slow. So the soil of the temperate grasslands are deep and dark with fertile upper layers because of high amount of organic matter. So it is nutrient rich from the growth and decay of deep many branched grass roots. So the roots of the grasses, they provide a lot of organic matter, right? So when this organic matter decays, obviously slowly, it will provide nutrients to the plants. So temperate grasslands are mainly located in the northern hemisphere. हाँ, southern hemisphere में भी है, but northern hemisphere में ज़्यादा area है. So the largest temperate grasslands are situated in US prairies. Although these grasslands are known by different names in different regions. So US में जो grassland है, temperate grassland, it is known as prairies. Okay. Then other famous temperate grasslands are steppes or steppes. तो तुम्हारा जो यूरेशिया में है. In South America also we have grasslands which are called as pampas. In South Africa they are called as velds. Okay. We also have grasslands, temperate grasslands in Australia. They are called as downs. छोटा part है, but the area is less, but it still has temperate grasslands. So Australia में भी है, New Zealand में भी है. They are known by different names. Okay. So in every biome, location is also important, where it is located. So if you see in the map, so you have prairies, you have steppes, pampas in South America, veld, बहुत छोटा सा part है veld. So you have high veld and low veld in South Africa. South Africa में भी है. Then you have downs in Australia, grasslands, they are known as downs, and Canterbury in New Zealand. So they are known as Canterbury in New Zealand. So they have local names for grasslands. All right, temperate grasslands. Now, climate. Coming to the climate, so it is characterized by moderate temperatures with warm summers and cold winters. The fluctuation बहुत ज़्यादा है. Summers are warm, but winters are very chilly. Precipitation, so annual precipitation is between 30 to 60 centimeters. So mainly it happens in the summer months. Summer में तुमको बारिश होता है. Winter में it is mainly in the form of snow because of low temperature. So we'll move quickly because we have to complete all the biomes. So we'll move faster in today's class. So अगर मेरा speed थोड़ा ज़्यादा हो रहा है तो बताना. If I am going too fast, please let me know. Then, so basically we are dealing with facts. अगर कहीं conceptual कोई चीज़ आती है तो I will explain, but majorly it is fact based. Okay. So summers are hot and winters are cold. All right. So temperature in the summer may exceed 38 degrees Celsius and in the winter it can drop to -40. So अगर तुम US prairies में देखोगे तो the winters are very chilly. Okay. So Midwest, अगर तुम वो एरिया देखोगे, आयोवा नीचे central part of United States, so वहाँ पर बहुत ही cold winters होता है. So summers में temperature can go up to 38 and in winters it can drop up to -40. So there is a lot of variation. So mean temperature in January can range from, so we are mainly discussing the temperature of or the temperature or climate of prairies क्योंकि ये बहुत बड़ा area है. Okay, and these grasslands are also very important because they are granaries of the world. So जहाँ पर भी cultivation होता है mainly agricultural lands हैं ये पूरे. So most of the grassland biomes have been converted into agricultural lands because these lands are very fertile. So mainly agricultural purpose के लिए grasslands को convert कर दिया गया. So these are very fertile lands. So they are also known as granaries of the world. Okay, so mean temperatures in January may range from -18 degree Celsius in the north to 10 degree Celsius in the south. So हम लोग continental US की बात कर रहे हैं. So if it is United States, ऐसे ऐसे कुछ होता है, right? Something like this. नीचे मैक्सिको है. So ये वाला जो पूरा पार्ट है, so in the north it can go up to -18 degree Celsius, and in the south it can go up to 10 degree Celsius. Okay, so July में it can be 18 degree Celsius in July, and नीचे तुम्हारा आता है 28 degree Celsius, because तुम्हारा लैटिट्यूड में बहुत डिफरेंस है. इट इज़ अ बिग कंट्री, सो वी आर मेनली डिस्कसिंग द क्लाइमेट ऑफ द प्रायरीज. सो नॉर्थ में इट कैन बी 18 डिग्री सेल्सियस इन जुलाई, इन साउथ इट कैन बी 28 अराउंड, उस एवरेज टेम्परेचर है. इन विंटर्स इट विल बी -18 एंड 10 डिग्री सेल्सियस इन द साउथ. सो नॉर्थ साउथ जब हम लोग बोल रहे हैं तो प्रायरीज के रेस्पेक्ट में बोल रहे हैं. ठीक है. सो मीन एनुअल टेम्परेचर इट कैन फॉल बिलो 0 डिग्रीज. अगर तुम एवरेज लोगे ऑल द मंथ्स का, इट कैन फॉल बिलो 0 डिग्रीज. सो व्हेन इट कम्स टू सॉइल इज फर्टाइल, especially when compared to savanna grasslands, because savanna grasslands में भी organic matter है. बट क्यों ये तुम्हारे जो टेम्परेट ग्रासलैंड्स हैं, वाई दे आर मोर फर्टाइल? बिकॉज ऑर्गेनिक मैटर कंटेंट ज़्यादा है. In savanna grasslands, the decomposition rate will be very high. Okay, so the topmost layer or the A horizon of this soil comprises of humus from the plant and animal biomass that has accumulated over time. So it will be thick, rich organic layer. So humus is always present in spite of the low biodiversity of the temperate grasslands, because grasses, they produce a lot of biomass, and the degradation or the decomposition of organic matter is comparatively slow because of the temperatures. ठीक है. So this type of soil in the temperate grasslands is known as mollisol. So this name is given because of high organic matter content, significant organic matter content. Deep organic matter का जो layer है, it is also very deep. So carbon sequestration is higher. That means जो भी ऑर्गेनिक कार्बन है, इट विल स्टे इन द सॉइल फॉर लॉन्ग पीरियड ऑफ टाइम, अनलाइक योर ट्रॉपिकल रीजन्स. ट्रॉपिकल रीजन्स में भी ऑर्गेनिक मैटर प्रोड्यूस होता है. सो ट्रॉपिकल एवरग्रीन फॉरेस्ट है, देयर इज लॉट ऑफ फ्लोरा, बहुत सारा हाई डेंसिटी फॉरेस्ट है, ऑर्गेनिक मैटर विल बी प्रोड्यूस, लीफ लिटर विल बी देयर, बट डिकम्पोजिशन इज ऑल्सो फास्टर देयर. यहाँ पर डिकम्पोजिशन स्लो है, इसलिए ज़्यादा ऑर्गेनिक मैटर कंटेंट है. ऑलराइट. सो वेजिटेशन में आओगे तो इट इज डोमिनेटेड बाय ग्रासेस. Here and there you will see trees also, but mainly grassland. Grasses will dominate. So grasses rule the temperate grasslands, where trees and large shrubs are scarce due to challenges like fires हैं. So fires are also common during the summers. Droughts भी आता है. Grazing animals also make it tough for the shrubs and trees. So temperate grasslands boast a rich variety of plants, including low and mid-range grass types. स्मॉल सक्यूलेंट्स भी मिलेंगे तुमको, shrubs and even small trees and grains also. Different species of or poaceae members or grains will also be found in these grasslands. All right. So different species of grasses which are found. So एक दो examples याद रख लेना कौन से grasses यहाँ पर मिलते हैं. So you will have blue grama, gatella, blue-eyed grass. So for example, so blue grama, purple needle grass, then you have foxtail, okay, gatella grass, blue-eyed grass, buffalo grass. So these are very common. तो ये जो grasses हैं ये बहुत तुमको commonly दिख जाएंगे. Okay, 1 or 2 examples if possible, please remember. Then here and there you will also see trees also. ऐसा नहीं है कि बहुत uncommon है. So you will see cottonwood, willow is also common tree. ओक्स, अलग अलग स्पीशीज हैं ओक्स के. सो वाइट ओक हो गया, कैलिफोर्निया ओक. सो यू विल हैव डिफरेंट ओक स्पीशीज ऑल्सो विच आर सीन इन दीज ग्रासलैंड्स. सो ट्रीज आर नॉट अनकॉमन. यू विल ऑल्सो सी हियर एंड देयर ट्रीज आर ऑल्सो अवेलेबल. सो ग्रासेस डोमिनेट. Okay, grasses are the dominant vegetation. Now, adaptations, what are the different adaptations which are found in these plants which are in the temperate grasslands? So, native prairie plants have intricate root system. Okay, so they have deep and well developed root system. They can absorb moisture from different layers and the root system is very vast. So बहुत ही ज़्यादा spreading type and deep rooted root system है. For example, if you see the root system of lead plant, so it can range from 6 to 16 feet. It can go up to 6 to 16 feet deep vertically and 4 feet laterally. It can spread 6 to 16 feet vertically and 4 feet laterally, so that it can absorb moisture from different layers and from a larger region, so that it can withstand droughts. Okay, it has a very complex root system. So native prairie plants typically grow in clumps. तो ग्रुप में ग्रो होते हैं, they grow in clumps. Fauna, if you see what kind of animals are found, so deep root system is one of the main adaptation of these grasses. Now, fauna, so we'll have different types of herbivores and carnivores here. So if you see gazelles, so this is a type of deer, zebras, rhinoceros, wild horses, lions, wolves, prairie dogs, jackrabbits, deer, mice, coyotes, fox, lions, wolves. So different kinds of animals are seen. So this is a gazelle. Okay, gazelle is a type of deer. Then prairie dogs, these are rodents. Prairie dog माने dog नहीं है, this is a rodent basically. So this is jackrabbit. Okay, it has a very large ears. So temperature regulate करने के लिए काम आते हैं. Around 1/3 of the body size. Their ears are about 1/3 of body size. So you have skunks also. So these are weasel-like animals. So skunks, they spray a very foul-smelling liquid. तो उन्हें anal gland में they spray liquid which has a very foul smell. So to ward off predators. Then you have badgers. Skunks and badgers, they are related. Then you have blackbird, quail, meadowlark. These are some of the birds which are commonly seen. Then animal adaptations में आओगे तो, so their teeth are modified. See, grasses, they have high silica content. जो तुम्हारा जो teeth हैं, molars are well developed, right? So grazing animals को जो adaptation है, so some animals like bison, so it is a bovine, buffalo family से belong करता है. They have broad flat top teeth and digestive system specially adapted to feed on grass. Okay, so in many prairie animals they have front legs and paws that allow them to burrow. Okay, to protect themselves from the predators. Small animals basically, वो उनके burrow में छुप जाते हैं. Then many prairie animals are adapted to nocturnal life. Okay, so daytime में छुप नहीं सकते हैं, grasses हैं. So if the grasses are not very tall, these herbivores are visible to the predators. So predators may eat them. So conceal करने के लिए mainly they are adapted to nocturnal lifestyle. Color of many animals, their fur color, it is green or brownish, so that it can hide in the grass, camouflage effect के लिए, to protect itself from the predators. So those are some of the adaptations in animals. Now threats क्या है? What are the threats to temperate grassland biome? Mainly agriculture. So because these lands are very fertile, so they are cleared for agriculture purpose. So there wasn't great understanding of the balance to keep a biome strong as we increased our farming efforts and clear the land to build houses and industrial sites. So पहले ये बायोस्फीयर के बारे में, ecological impact, ये पहले पता नहीं था. So we have cleared lot of land for agriculture purpose and for houses and industrial sites. So overgrazing is also another threat. So about 47% of the temperate grasslands have disappeared beneath homes, highways, industrial parks. So we have cleared all these lands for agriculture purpose or for industry purpose or housing. Then invasive species. So invasive species can modify the ecosystem. So ये भी एक है. Illegal hunting of animals and climate change. So these are some of the threats to this ecosystem. So तुम्हारा जो temperate grassland biome है, mainly this is very the soil is very fertile and mainly prairies are there. See, as I have mentioned earlier, they are called granaries. So wheat production या soya production, whatever. So agricultural production के लिए these are very fertile soils. So that was the threat, right? So we have seen temperate grassland biome. Now moving on, another important biome is Mediterranean climate or chaparral biome. So it is known alternatively as Mediterranean type of climate or chaparral biome. So chaparral biome जो name है, it comes from a plant. Okay, so we'll discuss that later. So chaparral biome or Mediterranean type of climate. So that is the next biome we are going to discuss. So it is also known as Mediterranean shrubland. So यहाँ पर जो main dominant plant type है, that those are shrubs. Okay, so shrubs are the dominant vegetation here. So the name comes from chaparral biome जो है, it comes from the Spanish word or the Spanish term chaparro. So Spanish word for California scrub oak tree. So ये plant को chaparro बोलते हैं स्पेनिश में, right? So scientific name is Quercus berberidifolia. So this is known as chaparro in Spanish. So इसलिए इसको chaparral biome बोलते हैं because this is the most commonly seen shrub in the area. So Mediterranean type of climate है, ये बहुत ही common होता है. That is why it is known as chaparral biome. So most common plant seen in chaparral community. So it is also known as Mediterranean shrubland because Mediterranean region में ये बहुत ही, ये Mediterranean region जो है वहाँ पर ये type का biome मिलता है. That is why it is also known as Mediterranean shrubland. So around the Mediterranean Sea. All right. So chaparral is a type of woodland which is characterized by combination of dry soil, warm weather and short hardy shrubs. Short hardy shrubs. Hardy shrubs means basically they are able to tolerate this dry soil or dry condition and warm weather. So to reduce the evapotranspiration, these plants have many adaptations. बहुत सारे adaptations हैं जो warm weather में या फिर dry soil को tolerate करने में help करता है. So this shrubland is characterized by dry soil, warm weather and shrubs which are hardy. All right, they can survive in this condition because they have adapted to this type of climate. So chaparral biome is dominated by short woody plants rather than grasses or tall trees. So grasses and tall trees यहाँ पर नहीं दिखते हैं ज़्यादा. There are one or two or here and there you will see trees, but this is dominated mainly by shrubs rather than grasses or trees. So chaparral biome is terrestrial ecosystem, obviously characterized by its distinct Mediterranean type of climate, featuring warm and dry summers and mild wet winters. तो ये Mediterranean climate का characteristic feature है. Warm dry summers and rainfall usually happens in the winter. Mild and wet winters, warm summers. So this is the characteristic feature of Mediterranean climate. So we'll discuss क्या reason है इसका, ठीक है? So location you can see tiny portions of chaparral biome occurs throughout all the continents. जितने भी तुम्हारे continents सब में, अंटार्कटिका उसको छोड़ के. So you can see कैलिफोर्निया रीजन, यहाँ पर भी तुमको chaparral biome मिलेगा. Mediterranean region, then you have साउथ अफ्रीका में भी है similar type of biome. In the Chile region also you will see this type of biome, and southwestern and southern Australia. So this type of biome is seen in almost all continents. So tiny portions of chaparral biome are scattered across every continent encompassing diverse landscape. तो तुमको plains में भी मिलेंगे, mountain regions में भी मिलेंगे. It is seen both in plains and mountain regions. Now, where it is located exactly on the earth? So Mediterranean biome is, or it is developed, or it has developed between 30 to 40 degrees or up, or sometime up to 45 degrees north and south of the equator. So you can see it is found from 30 to 40 or sometimes even up to 45 degrees north and south of the equator. So 45 degrees north and 45 degrees south. Okay, on both the hemispheres. Okay, in the western part of the continents. So that is also seen. Western part of the continents. Western parts में मिलेंगे तुमको. Because western parts of the continents में बारिश बहुत कम होता है. That is again because of the winds, prevailing winds. So basic cause of this type of climate is shifting of wind belts. ये mainly shifting of wind belts की वजह से. The rainfall happens in winter. Okay, that is because of apparent shift of sun and wind belts की जगह pressure belts लिख सकते हैं. Pressure belts. So this is the main reason. So I guess you might have studied this in geography. आप लोगों ने geography में पढ़ा होगा, और otherwise I can explain it in few seconds. We can have an explanation why this happens. अगर आपने पढ़ा है तो से please respond in the comment section. Do I need to explain कि ये जो होता है तुम्हारा Mediterranean climate, मेनली ये शिफ्टिंग ऑफ द विंड बेल्ट्स या फिर तुम्हारे प्रेशर बेल्ट्स की वजह से तुमको विंटर में रेनफॉल होता है. डू आई नीड टू एक्सप्लेन दिस और यू हैव एन आइडिया अबाउट दिस? मेनली ये जियोग्राफी का पोर्शन है. इफ़ यू हैव नॉट रेड इट ऑल्सो, आप पढ़ोगे फिजिकल जियोग्राफी में. राइट. सो दिस इज योर इक्वेटर. Right, this is low pressure area. Then we have Tropic of Cancer and Tropic of Capricorn. Right. So this is इक्वेटोरियल लो. सो ये लो प्रेशर एरिया है. दिस इज द लो प्रेशर एरिया विच अट्रैक्ट्स योर ट्रेड विंड्स फ्रॉम बोथ साइड्स. ओके, ट्रेड विंड्स विल ब्लो टुवर्ड्स द इक्वेटर फ्रॉम बोथ द sides, from north and south. Now this is equatorial low. Then we have subtropical high. So subtropical high pressure area on around 20 to 30 degrees of north and south. So low pressure equatorial low, उसके ऊपर तुम्हारे पास near the Tropic of Capricorn or up to 30 degrees north you have subtropical high pressure area and Cancer and Capricorn subtropical high. उसके बाद तुम्हारे पास होगा subpolar low pressure, and here you have polar high pressure area, high pressure belt. So equator में low pressure air होता है, then you have subtropical high on both the sides, then above that you have subpolar low pressure belt, and at the poles you have polar high. Okay, so what happens is, बोला था apparent shift of the sun. So sun, so तुमको summer solstice and winter solstice के बारे में पता होगा. So summer solstice is when you have longer day period, and winter solstice when you have longer night period or longer dark period. So जो 12 hours day and 12 hours night है, so longer day period will be during the summer solstice, that happens in June, and winter solstice happens in winter when you have longer nights. जो equinox है, equinox happens in March and September. Okay, so March and September में you have equal length of day and night, so 12 hours of light and 12 hours of dark period. So equinox जो है, during the equinox the sun will be exactly at the equator. sun जो है तुम्हारे equator के straight में होता है during the equinox. During summer solstice, so sun यहाँ पर है during the equinox, that is March and September. During the summer solstice, sun is at the Tropic of Cancer. Okay, summer solstice. And winter solstice के टाइम पे sun will be at the Tropic of Capricorn. तो equinox में it will be at the equator. March and September में sun will be at the equator. During the summer solstice it will be at the Tropic of Cancer. During the winter solstice it will be at the Tropic of Capricorn. So sun, ऐसा लगता है कि sun move कर रहा है, तो basically it is not the sun which is moving. हम लोग, अर्थ इज रिवॉल्विंग, बट जो अर्थ पे एक पर्सन है, विथ रेस्पेक्ट टू द पर्सन ऑन द अर्थ, सन अपियर्स टू बी मूविंग, है ना, इसलिए अपरेंट शिफ्ट ऑफ द सन बोला है. वी यूज द टर्म अपरेंट शिफ्ट ऑफ द सन बिकॉज सन अपियर्स टू बी मूविंग विथ रेस्पेक्ट टू द पर्सन ऑन द अर्थ. सन ऐसा लगता है कि सन मूव कर रहा है. So during the equinox it is at the equator, summer solstice and winter solstice में it will be at the Tropic of Cancer and Capricorn respectively. So sun appears to be moving. So apparent movement of the sun. So जब sun move करता है, so when the sun is moving, ये जो तुम्हारे pressure belts हैं, pressure belts also move. Okay, so pressure belts भी move करते हैं. So तो तुम्हारा ये सब ट्रॉपिकल हाई है यहाँ पर ड्यूरिंग द समर, जो नॉर्मली तुम्हारा 23.5 पे होना चाहिए. सो सन अगर समर सॉलिस्टिस में सन अगर मूव हो रहा है टुवर्ड्स द नॉर्दर्न साइड, जो ट्रॉपिक ऑफ कैंसर, इवन दिस प्रेशर बेल्ट विल ऑल्सो मूव. सो सब ट्रॉपिकल हाई जो 23.3 में होना चाहिए था, इट विल बी लिटिल बिट अबाउ, थोड़ा सा ऊपर होगा वो ड्यूरिंग द समर. जो ट्रॉपिक ऑफ कैप्रिकॉन पे सब ट्रॉपिकल हाई है, सब ट्रॉपिकल हाई एट द कैप्रिकॉन, इट विल ऑल्सो बी, इट विल ऑल्सो मूव लिटिल बिट अपवर्ड ड्यूरिंग द समर सॉलिस्टिस. सन जब तुम्हारा ट्रॉपिक ऑफ कैंसर पे है, सन इज नॉट एट द इक्वेटर, सन इज एट द ट्रॉपिक ऑफ कैंसर, ऊपर है, तो प्रेशर बेल्ट्स विल ऑल्सो मूव लिटिल बिट टुवर्ड्स द नॉर्थ पोल. बट ड्यूरिंग द विंटर सॉलिस्टिस, विंटर सॉलिस्टिस में क्या होगा, the subtropical high will be little bit lower than the usual, and I mean with respect to your Tropic of Cancer, and also with respect to Capricorn. So जब winter solstice होता है, when the sun appears to be near the Tropic of Capricorn, even the pressure belts will also move towards the south pole. they will also move towards the south pole. All right. So what happens here is, so ये तुम्हारे westerlies जो हैं, so the westerlies, so when the sun is at the tropic of Capricorn, sun जब यहाँ पर है, when the sun is here, so the westerlies, the position जो तुम्हारा subtropical high pressure belt है, it will move downwards. तो westerlies का भी position जो तुम्हारे winds हैं, they will also be little bit lower. So they bring moisture from the Mediterranean Sea. तो Mediterranean Sea से moisture को onshore winds, so they will pick up moisture from the Mediterranean Sea and they will cause rainfall during the winter. So समुंदर से वो moisture को pick up करते हैं and they will cause the rainfall in the winter. So you will get to know this when you will study geography, और तुम्हारे जब क्लास में geography डील करेंगे तब तुमको ये एक्सप्लेन करेंगे. So I hope थोड़ा बहुत समझ में आया होगा. So we cannot go lot, I mean बहुत ज़्यादा एक्सप्लेनेशन दे सकते हैं इसके लिए, लेकिन वो सब अभी पॉसिबल नहीं है. When you will study physical geography, तब तुमको क्लास में एक्सप्लेन करेंगे जो भी ज्योग्राफी पढ़ाएगा. ठीक है. Shall I move on? मैं आगे बढ़ूँ. थोड़ा बहुत भी समझ में आया होगा तो ठीक है, बट अदरवाइज ये प्रेशर बेल्ट्स, विंड्स जो हैं, इट विल टेक एन एंटायर क्लास टू एक्सप्लेन दिस. ओके. सो मेनली इट इज बिकॉज ऑफ शिफ्टिंग ऑफ विंड बेल्ट्स, और प्रेशर बेल्ट शिफ्ट हो रहे हैं बिकॉज सन भी शिफ्ट हो रहा है. एक्चुअली इट इज नॉट द सन विच इज मूविंग, it is the revolution of earth that causes the wind belts to shift. So Mediterranean Sea has the greatest extent of this type of winter rain climate, that is why we call it Mediterranean climate. तो Mediterranean Sea जो है, the area surrounding the Mediterranean Sea, it has this type of climate, इसीलिए Mediterranean type of climate बोलते हैं इसको. So best developed form of this climate is found in central Chile. So Mediterranean region में तो है, उसके अलावा other than that you also have this type of climate in Chile. California में भी है, around San Francisco, southwestern tip of Africa, okay, Cape Town, and southern Australia and southwest Australia. So these are the other regions where you have this type of climate. So अगर तुम देखोगे what type of climate it has, so this type of climate is very hot and dry. तो विंटर में बारिश होती है, समर में बहुत कम बारिश होता है. So winters are cool but wet, whereas summers are dry and most of the annual rainfall is received during the winter months. So summers are hot and dry, winters are warm and wet. So summer season is warm and dry, whereas winters are moderately cool. वार्म है एंड वेट है, दे आर नॉट वेरी कूल और चिली. सो देर इज सफिशियंट सनलाइट थ्रू आउट द ईयर, बट समर्स आर, they receive more sunlight during the summer season. So characteristic climatic features of Mediterranean climate have developed because of seasonal shifting of pressure and wind belts due to northward and southward migration of the sun. Apparent migration, लगता है कि सन माइग्रेट कर रहा है, बट इट इज एक्चुअली द रेवोल्यूशन ऑफ अर्थ विच इज कॉजिंग दिस. ओके, विंड बेल्ट शिफ्ट होते हैं और प्रेशर बेल्ट्स विल मूव बिकॉज ऑफ द मूवमेंट ऑफ द सन. सो टेम्परेचर, you can see the average temperature during the cool winter season ranges from 5 degrees to 10 degrees, whereas the summer temperature is around 20 to 27 degrees. So annual जो average जो है that is 15 to 17. Okay, so this graph will chaparral climatograph में ये graph जो तुमको दिख रहा है, so you can see precipitation. अगर तुम देखोगे तो precipitation happens in winter, January, February up to spring. November, December से शुरू होता है and up to March, mainly during the winter season. Summer season is dry. अगर टेम्परेचर्स देखोगे तो समर में इट कैन गो अप टू 27, 25, 27 एंड विंटर्स में इट कैन बी अप टू 12 to 15. तो चिली नहीं होता है. विंटर्स आर नॉट चिली, विंटर्स आर वार्म एंड वेट, summers are hot and dry. Precipitation, so average precipitation is around 370 mm to 650 mm depending upon where the biome is located on the earth. So अलग अलग जगह पर थोड़ा बहुत वेरिएशन मिलेगा, right? So major portion of the precipitation happens during the winter. Summer में भी बहुत थोड़ा होता है, but majorly it is in winter. So summer season is almost dry. So this rain which is caused, it is mainly because of westerlies. So same वो जो westerlies हैं वो भी तुम्हारा winter months में नॉर्थ इंडिया में जो बारिश होता है. So the North India जो तुम्हारा wheat belt है, पंजाब, हरियाणा, this entire region. So we also receive little bit rainfall due to these western disturbances. So westerlies जो हैं, the same winds cause rainfall in the Mediterranean region. The same winds also bring little bit of rainfall, especially which is useful for wheat cultivation in North India. ये भी winter में होता है. Okay, this seasonal regime of rainfall causes fluctuation in the soil water and soil moisture regime. Obviously, ज़्यादा बारिश होगा तो soil will also have more amount of water. If the rainfall does not happen, the soil will be dry. So soil water will change, soil water level will change with the season. So amount of soil water increases during the winter. Obviously बारिश तभी होता है तो soil में भी ज़्यादा moisture होगा. It will support maximum vegetation or luxurious growth of plants during the winter. The dry summer causes deficiency in the soil water content. Obviously बारिश नहीं होगा तो whatever water is received during the winter, it will dry off quickly due to evaporation. Okay. So evaporation and evapotranspiration causes rapid depletion of water during the summer. So thus the deficiency in the soil water content during dry summer season prevents the vegetation growth. So luxuriant trees ज़्यादा क्यों नहीं है यहाँ पर? Shrubs are the dominant vegetation, right? Shrubs, grasses and trees are less. They are also found, but उनका dominance नहीं है. Domination is mainly by shrubs. तो समर सीजन में जो तुम्हारा ड्राई कंडीशंस हैं, सो दीज कंडीशंस प्रिवेंट्स एक्सेसिव वेजिटेटिव ग्रोथ. सो दैट इज द रीजन व्हाई दिस इज मेनली श्रब लैंड. सो सॉइल्स ऑफ chaparral रेंज फ्रॉम डीप सॉइल्स हैं कुछ जगह पर. सम एरियाज दे आर वीकली डेवलप्ड एंड शैलो. इन सम एरियाज इट इज रॉकी सॉइल्स. सो दे हैव वेरी शैलो एंड mainly it has unweathered rock or unweathered parent material. Weathering जहाँ पर properly नहीं हुआ है and you have rocks in the soil. So the soil of the biome is typically dry and dusty with little nutrients. So it is also less in fertility. So major nutrients तुम्हारे nitrogen, phosphorus, they are also very less. ज़्यादा vegetation नहीं है तो organic matter content भी बहुत कम होता है. They are relatively low in nitrogen, potassium and phosphorus, NPK, which are the major nutrients for plant growth. Soils are porous. So deep soils नहीं है. These are not clayey soils. Okay. So generally chaparral is thought to occur upon the thin, porous and rocky soils. So ये soils में plant का growth भी properly नहीं होता है. That is why the mainly plants which you see are shrubs. So due to their coarse grain size, so clay particles, fine particles नहीं होते हैं. Sand and you will get pebbles also, rocks also. And mountainous region में बहुत ज़्यादा erosion का भी problem है यहाँ पर. So whatever clay or whatever fine soil you will see on the mountain sides, they will be eroded because of rainfall in the winter. So the soils are very poor in nutrients and they are not very thick like in the case of temperate grassland. यहाँ पर बहुत ही shallow soils मिलेंगे तुमको, unweathered parent material भी मिलेगा, rocks. So vegetation cannot grow in such kind of soils. So vegetation में आओगे तो Most of the plants in chaparral are shrubs, so it is a shrub dominated soils. So there are also some small trees, but mainly dominated by shrubs. So many of the shrubs and trees in the chaparral are evergreens. Many of the shrubs, they are evergreens. That means they do not drop their leaves during part of each year. So deciduous nahi hai. Most of them are evergreen. So leaves on these trees are thick like leather. So basically they have adapted to reduce the evapotranspiration. Water loss को minimize करने के लिए adaptations है plants में. So the thick leaves keep the water in the plants. So this is one of the adaptation. So some of the shrubs and trees have thorns. So leaves are modified into thorns. So thorns also protect the vegetation from herbivores. तो animals easily खा नहीं पाते हैं. So structure of the Mediterranean vegetation is such that they can withstand aridity of the summer season. Consequently, the leaves have developed sclerophyllous characteristics. Now sclerophyllous का मतलब है hard leaves. Sclero and phyllis. So ये जो है hard, they have woody stem, they have modified leaves. So hard bark, sclerophyllous characteristics. So these are the plants which can withstand arid conditions. तो उन plants को हम लोग sclerophyllous plants बोलते हैं जो arid conditions को withstand करने के लिए adapted है. So sclerophyllous characteristics wherein they are stiff, hard and the stems have thick barks. So arid condition में adapt करने के लिए they have modified themselves. So Mediterranean vegetation community consists of variety of sclerophyll plant formation classes. So you will have different types of shrubs. So अगर तुम coastal lands में जाओगे, so Mediterranean mixed evergreen forest you will see in the coastal lands. So ज़्यादा बारिश होता है वहाँ पर coastal lands में. As you move inwards, because coastal lands means so these westerlies they pick up moisture. वो मॉइस्चर को पिकअप करते हैं समुंदर से. सो दे विल पिकअप मॉइस्चर फ्रॉम द सी एंड एज दे मूव टूवर्ड्स द लैंड दे विल स्टार्ट द rainfall will happen, but as the winds move towards the interior the rainfall will decrease because it has lost moisture because of rainfall. So coastal areas में ज़्यादा बारिश होता है. as the wind moves interior the rainfall will reduce. So coastal lands में you will see forest, okay, immediately bordering the sea and the ocean, and woodland, dwarf forest and scrubs in the interior basically. As you go towards the continent, interior of the continent, you will see mainly shrubs. So the vegetation community is dominated by trees and shrubs mainly, and these shrublands are known by different names in different regions. हर region में उनका local names से बोलते हैं. जैसे steppes, prairies, velds for the temperate grassland. In the same way here also they have local names in different regions. So maquis or garrigue in southern Europe, chaparral in California. So Fynbos or Fynbosh in South Africa, and Malay scrub in Australia. So they are known by different names in different parts of the world. Now coming to the trees, कौन से trees हैं यहाँ पर dominant? तो eucalyptus Australia में one of the main tree. Then olive, especially in the Mediterranean region. Then oaks are also very common, especially in America, California area में. Acacia species is also common. So these are the trees which are common in the chaparral biome. Eucalyptus, olive, oak. Shrubs में आओगे तो shrubs are the dominant vegetation. So California scrub oak, which is Quercus berberidifolia. So that is California scrub oak. So this is one of the most commonly seen plant in this kind of biome. तो कैलिफोर्निया में ये बहुत कॉमन है. दैट इज वाई chaparral जो है, chaparro बताया था स्टार्टिंग में. chaparro is the Spanish name for this particular shrub. Then you have French broom. This is also very common Mediterranean region में. And you have yucca plant. So these are some of the shrubs which are very common in the chaparral biome. Then you have herbaceous plants also. So common sage plants, Salvia officinalis. Then you have oregano plant, Origanum vulgare, and thyme. So these are some of the herbs which are common in your chaparral biome. Alright. Then grasses bhi hain, yellow-eyed grass. So this is one of the common grass found in chaparral biome. So adaptations में आओगे तो plant adaptations क्या है? They have adapted to survive or to live in the dry summer conditions. Winter में तो winters are mild and wet, right? Rainfall happens in winter, so winter में कोई ज़्यादा problem नहीं होता है. It is especially in the summer. Okay, so summer seasons are a bit harsh. So many of the over 2000 plant varieties growing in this biome are marked by their characteristic hard, small leaves that can hold significant amount of moisture. So moisture preservation करने के लिए adaptations हैं. So they have modifications like thorns. The leaves have reduced their size to reduce the evapotranspiration. Some of the plants have leaves with hairy texture to reduce the transpiration, designed to hold on to and efficiently use the water, to reduce the transpiration basically. Plants of the chaparral biome have root system designed to get as much as water as possible. So spreading type of root system, deep root system to get soil from the deeper layers. So interestingly, plants in this biome have leaves made up of highly flammable material. So यहाँ पर fire hazard भी है, बहुत ज़्यादा fire accidents भी होता है इस biome में, because shrubs they dry during the summer and easily catch fire. And the plants have also adapted to tolerate high temperatures because of fires. कुछ plants में तो fire is necessary for the regrowth. So what happens is, so the seeds they are normally dormant during the summer season, and if fire accidents happen, if the fire happens, so that fire will crack open the seed coat. So this high temperature will help the seed coat to break easily and the seeds will germinate easily. So sometimes the fire is necessary for the regrowth of the entire forest. So these plants have seeds which lay dormant during the normal conditions. जो normally वो dormant रहेंगे, but fire जो है, this fire will weaken the seed coat. Normally the seed coat is very hard. So when the fire happens, so this fire will weaken the seed coat and it will help in germination of the seed, जो कि normally possible नहीं है because of hard seed coat. So sometimes fire is necessary. So chaparral plants usually have wide shallow root system to absorb moisture from larger area. Okay. Then, so sage plants are also found in chaparral biome. They produce bitter taste because of certain chemicals. The herbivorous animals, they don't prefer this particular plant. So this not only discourages animals from eating them, they also produce beautiful earthy fragrance after rain. Alright, so plants have developed certain adaptations to survive in this chaparral biome, right? So plants of Mediterranean biome have developed several morphological characteristics. Some of them we have seen. The size of the leaves reduce. The leaves turn into thorns. Okay. So other characteristics are thickened cuticles. So epidermis के ऊपर और एक layer होता है to prevent the transpiration, to reduce the transpiration. Thick cuticle, hair, gradual lot of hair, and sunken stomata. So this is another modification. Sunken stomata will be deep under the leaves, so it will reduce the transpiration. So sclerophyllous structure बताया था. These plants or this vegetation which is found in chaparral biome, this is one of the most important characteristic that this vegetation is also known as sclerophyllous vegetation. So sclerophyllous का मतलब क्या है? So sclerophyll is a type of vegetation that has hard leaves, short internodes, that means leaves के बीच में distance कम होता है. It comes from the Greek word sclero, that means hard, and phylon, leaf. Okay, so sclerophyllous structure. This is to adapt to harsh summer conditions. So summers are dry and warm. To reduce the transpiration, the plants have adapted certain features. So a few species of trees such as mastic tree. So this is the mastic tree. Okay. So they have mechanism to adjust themselves to the changing weather conditions. For example, they are able to close their stomata during the summer. So stomata are the structures from where evaporation happens. So leaf के ऊपर generally stomata होता है. So from there transpiration happens and it will lead to loss of moisture. So summer में वो stomata को close कर देते हैं. And in the winter months when the precipitation is high, plenty of moisture is available, so they will open the stomata during the winter. Some trees have developed smaller leaves such as chamis. So this is the surface area of the leaf. The leaves are reduced to reduce the transpiration. So some trees have thorny leaves such as cactus family. So leaves have turned into thorns. Some plants have extensively developed root system so that they can take moisture from the deeper layers of the soil. Some plants have bulbous or tuberous roots. तो तुम्हारा जो कुछ plants में bulbous or tuberous roots हैं, like in the case of dahlia, so they can store food material, nutrients in the bulbs. So these are some of the plant adaptations. Now fauna में अगर आओगे तो you have both herbivores and carnivores in this type of biome. So large mammals of California and Chilean regions include mule deer. So California में तुमको mule deer commonly मिलेगा. This is a large mammal. And guanaco. So these guanaco, it is commonly seen in South America. So Chilean जो तुम्हारा shrubland है और Chilean chaparral biome में you will see guanaco. So now guanaco was earlier a browsing mammal. पहले वो browsing mammal था. Now it has transformed itself into grazing mammal to adapt itself. So browsing और grazing में difference क्या है? Browsing means when, so I will give you few examples. Browsing animal में giraffe is a browsing animal. Goat is a browsing animal. तो वो क्या है? वो ऊपर से leaves को, branches and twigs of the trees, they will eat branches and twigs of the small trees. So they will eat leaves, stems, soft stems को खा लेते हैं. Browsing, they eat the vegetation which is at a height. Browsing animal. Grazing animal क्या है? Ground से खाता है. जैसे तुम्हारा cow हो गया. Like deers, they will graze. Grazing animals हैं. नीचे जो जमीन पे घास होता है उसको खाते हैं. Grazing animals. Browsing are when they are picking up the vegetation, leaves, stems from a particular height. That is a browsing animal. Now it has adapted to the conditions and turned itself into a grazing animal. Guanaco. Camel is a browsing animal. Okay. So camel, giraffe, these are browsing animals. Goat. Okay. The mammals are now dominated by ground squirrels, wood rats, mule deers. So these are the commonly observed mammals. So many predators are also seen. Many predator species like wolf, mountain lion, diversivores like grizzly bear. Diversivore का alternate term एक है omnivores. So whatever is available. So they will eat flesh also. They will eat vegetation also. Okay. So these are predators. Mountain lion, wolf, grizzly bears, They are found in the chaparral biome. Other important animals include several species of rabbits. Rabbits होंगे तो उसके predators भी होंगे, like coyote and Chilean fox. Other predators like lizards, snakes, several type of raptorial birds like kites, falcons, hawks. Raptorial bird का मतलब क्या है? Those birds which eat flesh. उनको raptorial birds बोलते हैं. So kites, falcons, hawks, they eat meat-eating animals. So most of the original native animals of South African Mediterranean biome have now become either extinct or very rare. So for example, तुम्हारा जो quagga, which is a type of zebra. So quagga जो है, due to hunting, excessive hunting, it has now become extinct. Another bontebok जो तुम्हारा एक deer है, एक type of antelope basically. It is an antelope. It has become extremely rare species because of excessive hunting. So these are also some of the animals either which have become extinct or have become threatened. Now insects भी हैं बहुत सारे. So you have praying mantis, ladybug beetles, coccylidae से belong करते हैं, ladybug beetles. Butterflies are also there. Birds में you will see hummingbirds, roadrunners, vultures. So these are some of the commonly seen birds. Reptiles में you have lizards, rattlesnakes, Australia में especially, Australia and Chile, even in California. So San Diego gopher. So this is the snake, San Diego gopher. Monitor lizard. So these are some of the commonly seen reptiles in this biome. So the Australian Mediterranean biome is characterized by numerous types of birds and animals. So Australia का जो fauna है that is quite unique, है ना, marsupials मिलते हैं वहाँ पर. Australia because this during the continental drift, Australia बहुत जल्दी separate हो गया and there was no migration and there was no you can say contact with other जो तुम्हारे हैं land bridges नहीं है कुछ भी. So Australia when it got separated, so these animals are quite unique which are found in Australia. So इसलिए उसके बारे में. So marsupials include kangaroo family, mainly western grey kangaroo. This is the western grey kangaroo. So there are also numerous varieties of wallaby and mice. So this is your wallaby. So wallaby क्या है ना? So there are different types. Kangaroos में ही different types हैं. Kangaroos are bit larger. Then wallabies are very small type of kangaroo. Actually में kangaroo नहीं है. Kangaroo like animal, it is very small. So wallaby and kangaroo के बीच में there is another kangaroo type of animal. Kangaroo जैसा ही लगता है. That is wallaroo. So kangaroos, wallaroos and wallabies depending upon the size, descending order में. Kangaroos are bit larger. Wallaroos are in the intermediate size and wallabies are very small. So they all look like kangaroos, but kangaroos nahi hai. Wallabies and wallaroos are bit different. Then you have different type of birds. So you have honey eaters, whistlers, wrens, quail thrush. So these are seen in Australian Mediterranean type of biome. Then keystone species. Now these species, the keystone species is one which can have a very large effect on the entire ecosystem. So keystone species जो है इसका बहुत ज़्यादा effect होता है ना. I mean if keystone species disappears, the entire ecosystem will change. Even the entire ecosystem will be, I mean it can disappear also. So tiger is a keystone species, elephant is a keystone species. So they modify the entire ecosystem. So they are responsible for the stability of the ecosystem also. They can have a significant effect. So keystone species in the chaparral biome is coyote brush or Baccharis Pilularis. So it is a species that provides food for insects, shelter for different wildlife. It also provides nutrients to the soil in the form of organic matter, allowing other plants to grow. It is also resistant to fire, drought resistant. It can rejuvenate and grow quickly. So अगर fire से damage हो गया तो पूरा forest, it can rejuvenate the entire region. So it is a very important species. It has significant effect on the entire ecosystem. So keystone species है ये chaparral biome का. So every biome has a keystone species. So animal adaptations, if you see, extreme temperatures of the summer, okay, and mainly rainfall happens in the winter. तो summer में पानी भी नहीं मिलता है and the temperatures are also bit high. So animals are adapted to this type of climate. So the animals are found active at night because it is very hot during the daytime. Okay, so when they are searching for the prey, it is hot. Chaparral plants feed the caterpillars of silk moths, monarch butterfly, okay, as well as a diverse community of ants, beetles, orthopterans. So crickets, grasshoppers, ये orthoptera order से belong करते हैं. So insects, the class insecta is divided into different orders. So butterflies come under Lepidoptera, crickets and grasshoppers they fall under Orthoptera, beetles they come under Coleoptera, and so on. So the plants they support different insects. One example of adaptation is monkey grasshoppers. So monkey grasshopper, so it has developed different colors, okay, to camouflage itself in the vegetation. So it is a unique orthopteran native to chaparral biome. Its thin body and dull brown color let it blend into the twigs of the scrub oak of the brittle और द ब्रिटल सॉइल अंडरनीथ. सो या तो प्लांट के अंदर या तो सॉइल के अंदर कैमोफ्लाज के लिए इट हैज़ डेवलप्ड यूनिक कलर्स. तो मैमल्स जो हैं, लार्ज मैमल्स आर लेस कॉमन, एक्सेप्शंस आर म्यूल डियर एंड कायोटीज. सो they have developed flexibility in their diet. They will eat on anything they find. So ऐसा नहीं है कि पर्टिकुलर डाइट पे रहते हैं, जो कुछ भी मिल जाता है. सो वॉट एवर इज अवेलेबल दे फीड ऑन दैट. सो दैट इज देयर एडाप्टेशन. दे हैव बिकम वेरी फ्लेक्सिबल विद देयर डाइट. अदर मॉडिफिकेशंस आर लाइक इन द केस ऑफ जैक रैबिट्स, ब्लैक टेल्ड जैक रैबिट्स. सो दे हैव बिग ईयर्स. उनका जो ईयर्स हैं बहुत बड़ा होता है. सो विच हेल्प्स इन रेगुलेशन ऑफ their body temperature. So their ears have lot of blood vessels. So whenever their body temperature increases, so they will allow the blood to flow into the ears, and when it comes in contact with the air, it will cool down. The blood का जो temperature है, when it comes in contact with the air, it will cool down quickly. So जब temperature बहुत ठंडा हो जाता है बाहर, so reverse happens. So it will allow the blood to flow from ears to the body. So जब उसको अपने बॉडी का टेम्परेचर डाउन करना पड़ता है तो it will allow the blood to flow into the ears. When it wants to keep the warmth or keep the body warm, reverse will happen. So most of the blood will flow from the ears into the body ताकि वो जल्दी ठंडा ना हो. Okay. So black-tailed jackrabbits have extremely large ears which can reach a third of its body length. Okay, so they have dozens of small blood vessels within the ears, okay, which expand when the animal is hot, allowing more quantities of blood to flow through the ears, and when it comes in contact with the air, it will cool down to regulate the body temperature. So body temperature ठंडा हो जाता है. Okay, so when the jackrabbit is cool, the blood vessels constrict, lessening the amount of blood to the ears. जब वो ठंडा होता है तो it has to keep its body warm. So ज़्यादा ब्लड को ईयर में नहीं जाने देता है. So blood vessels will constrict and keep the blood flow will be very less into the ears. So it will keep its body warm. So this is a common adaptation in other animals also. So like fox, rabbit, mice, rodents, उनमें भी ये adaptation है to regulate the body temperature. Okay. So animals, another adaptation which is seen in animals is, so where they require a covering layer which does not overheat the animals and can efficiently evaporate sweat whilst also providing some warmth during the cold night. So बहुत ज़्यादा thick skin नहीं होता है, so they don't have blubber or fat layer because it has to keep its body cool during the hot summer. Okay, so they require a covering which is not, which does not overheat the animal. So उनका skin जो है वो और जो layer जो है body के ऊपर, it will be thin and it also helps in sweating. So that perspiration is basically to cool your body, है ना. So why do you sweat? तुम लोग, हम जब भी बाहर टेम्परेचर ज़्यादा होता है, वी स्वेट, राइट. सो थ्रू स्वेटिंग वाटर विल बी रिमूव्ड. सो वाटर कैन कैरी द हीट फॉर लॉन्ग पीरियड ऑफ टाइम. स्पेसिफिक हीट ज़्यादा होता है वाटर का, इट कैन कीप द बॉडी वार्म. सो वेन एवर द टेम्परेचर्स आर हाई, योर बॉडी विल ट्राई टू कूल इट सेल्फ. कैसे कूल करेगा? बाय लूजिंग वाटर. सो इवापोरेटिव कूलिंग प्रिंसिपल है. This principle is called evaporative cooling. By removing water through sweat, the body will cool down itself. So same principle is in pots. मटके का पानी ठंडा क्यों होता है? Evaporative cooling. The clay pot will keep the water cool because of evaporative cooling. Air coolers का जो principle है, जब पानी डालते हो तो ठंडा हवा आता है. So that is also evaporative cooling. Here also sweating will allow the animal to keep its body cool. So mammals living in this kind of environment typically have short compact coats which will ventilate well and allow the sweat to evaporate quickly, cooling the animal much faster. So birds, they also have certain mechanism to regulate their body temperature. So birds also have similar adaptation, with many having the ability to fluff or flatten their feathers to regulate the heat exchange. So one such example is with the ostrich. So specialized coat of the ostrich which does not have feathers on its head and the neck and the legs. Head पे, neck पे, legs पे feather नहीं होता है, which will help in allowing the heat to डिसिपेट. यानी जो फेदर्स क्या करते हैं ना, इंसुलेट करते हैं. ओके, सो सम पार्ट ऑफ द बॉडी विल बी अलाउड टू लूज द हीट इजीली, अदर पार्ट्स विल ब्लॉक द हीट. जैसे फेदर्स ऑन द बैक ऑफ द बॉडी विल प्रिवेंट एक्सेसिव हीटिंग बिकॉज सन का रेज डायरेक्टली नहीं गिरता है उसके ऊपर. ओके, फेदर्स ऑन इट्स बैक एंड एब्डोमेन will protect it from the direct heat from the sun. Okay, so lack of feathers allow the heat to efficiently escape. जो उसके neck पे feathers नहीं है, टांगों पे feathers नहीं है, head पे feathers नहीं है, it is naked. So वहाँ से heat easily escape होता है. But the feathers on the back of the body will keep insulation. So the animal will be protected, the bird will be protected by direct sunlight. That was regarding the animal adaptation. So threats क्या है? Basically human encroachment. So humans, they enter everywhere. So human encroachment है. So human population grow. As the human population grow, chaparral biome faces threats because of urbanization, agriculture, infrastructure development. It is common for all the biomes. Okay. So increased fire frequency. So फायर हैजार्ड ये तो है ऑब्वियसली, फॉरेस्ट फायर्स दैट इज ऑल्सो अनदर थ्रेट. Then climate change, which can change the rainfall pattern and all that, that can also have a significant effect on chaparral biome. Environmental pollution, so winters में rainfall होता है, so rainfall, after rainfall what will happen, if there is excessive rainfall there will be runoff. So when the runoff is coming from agricultural land, so तुम्हारा chaparral biome अगर पास में है तो एग्रीकल्चरल लैंड से अगर रन ऑफ आ रहा है, सो दिस रन ऑफ विल ऑल्सो ब्रिंग फर्टिलाइजर्स, पेस्टिसाइड्स फ्रॉम द एग्रीकल्चरल लैंड, सो दैट में कॉज पोल्यूशन एंड इट में हैव हार्मफुल इफेक्ट. तो पोल्यूशन हो सकता है उससे. ओवर ग्रेजिंग, सो लाइफ स्टॉक फार्मिंग इफ इट इज हैपनिंग, ओवर ग्रेजिंग में ऑल्सो लीड टू डिस्ट्रक्शन ऑफ दिस पर्टिकुलर बायोम, सो दैट इज ऑल्सो देयर. So these are some of the threats to chaparral biome. So focus on what are the things which are important. Basic characteristics याद रखना है, location याद रखना है, okay. Climate, location, climate, some examples of flora and fauna and adaptations. Mainly these things you have to remember. Now coming to another important biome, that is tropical rainforest biome. So obviously it, as the name suggests, it is in the tropical region, okay, in the tropical region, and excessive rainfall happens because of trade winds. बहुत ज़्यादा बारिश होता है, that will also allow thick vegetation. So the diversity is also very high because बहुत ज़्यादा vegetation है, there is plenty of water, temperatures are also high, optimum temperatures हैं. So optimum temperatures, high vegetation, high amount of vegetation, that is basically plenty of food and plenty of water. Temperatures are optimum, water is available, plenty of food is available. Obviously all this will lead to lot of biodiversity. बहुत ज़्यादा animals and plant species तुमको मिलेंगे, diversity बहुत ज़्यादा है. One of the important characteristic of this particular biome is regarding flora and fauna, diversity is very high, okay. Rainfall and temperatures, which are high rainfall and optimum temperatures, make it very congenial biome for the animals and plants to flourish. So tropical rainforest biome, as the name suggests, tropical region में तो temperature high होगा, rainforest because of excessive rainfall. Now tropical rainforest is a hot, because in the tropical region, moist biome where it rains all year long. पूरा साल बारिश होता है. So obviously when there is water availability throughout the year, leaf shedding की जरूरत नहीं है. Why do plants shed the leaves? Because of harsh conditions. Harsh conditions means lack of moisture. So plants lose the moisture through leaves. अगर leaves होंगे तो moisture loss होगा. Okay, that is why in desert biome or other biomes, the plants have certain modification where the transpiration is slowed, the amount of water loss will be reduced. Spines में modify हो गया, leaves का size छोटा हो गया कहीं पे, right, because moisture नहीं है. यहाँ पे तो पूरा साल moisture है, so there is no need for shedding of the leaves because the winters are not harsh, optimum temperature है, high temperatures are there, बारिश भी बहुत होता है, so there is plenty of moisture, there is no need to modify leaves to reduce the transpiration, ज़रूरत नहीं है. So यहाँ पर पेड़ों के जो leaves हैं ये भी बड़े बड़े होंगे, the leaf size is also larger. So hot moist biome where it rains throughout the year. Okay, so the word rainforest implies that, so it implies that these are some of the world's wettest ecosystem. So बहुत ज़्यादा rainfall होता है. Okay, exact amount will vary from place to place, but generally the rainfall is very high. Okay, so main characteristics क्या है इस biome का? First, very high annual rainfall. Second, temperatures are also very high क्योंकि tropical region में है. The nutrient poor soil, I will explain this why. Nutrient poor soil and high levels of biodiversity. पानी भी बहुत ज़्यादा है, टेम्परेचर भी congenial है, so obviously diversity will be high. Species richness. So these are the most important characteristics. Why the nutrient levels of the soil are poor, we will discuss that later. But these are the 4 important characteristics. High rainfall, high temperature, soils are not very rich in the nutrients because जो बारिश होता है ना, the rainfall will remove most of the organic matter. Excessive rainfall जो है organic matter को वहाँ से displace कर देता है. Before it is decomposed, it will be displaced. And जो भी decompose हुआ है, whatever mineralization process happens, that means organic to inorganic matter में जो convert हुआ है, so inorganic nutrients, they will be leached. So excessive rainfall, the water will move into the soil and it will percolate. So along with it, nutrients will also be leached. So that is the reason why it is poor in nutrients. So rainforests are also called as cradles of diversity because the species richness, diversity is very high. So they spawn and support 50% of the living organisms on the earth. Even though the tropical rainforest का जो area है, it is around 6%, but it supports more than 50% of the living organisms. So the rainforest importance is truly incomprehensible when it comes to species diversity. So that is why rainforest को protect करना इतना ज़रूरी है. So इंडोनेशिया में क्या है ना, इंडोनेशिया में बहुत सारे आइलैंड्स, राइट. सो दे ऑल्सो हैव ट्रॉपिकल रेन फॉरेस्ट बायोम. सो दे आर क्लियरिंग द ट्रॉपिकल रेन फॉरेस्ट फॉर ऑयल पाम कल्टिवेशन, ताकि उनका जो एक्सपोर्ट ऑफ ऑयल है, एडिबल ऑयल, दैट इंक्रीजेस. सो वो अपना एडिबल ऑयल एक्सपोर्ट को इंक्रीज करने के लिए ट्रॉपिकल रेन फॉरेस्ट को क्लियर करके वहाँ पर ऑयल पाम के प्लांटेशंस लगा रहे हैं. सो जो तुम्हारा जो यूरोपियन कम्युनिटीज़ हैं, जो एनवायरमेंटलिस्ट हैं, दे आर reducing the oil import from Indonesia, especially oil palm import from Indonesia, because अगर उसका import करते रहेंगे तो obviously to gain more foreign exchange, इंडोनेशिया वाले ज़्यादा एरिया को क्लियर करके और ऑयल पाम लगाते रहेंगे. So to discourage them from converting the tropical rainforest into oil palm plantations, they are reducing the oil import from Indonesia. So जो environmentalist हैं, they want to protect, obviously it is also our duty. Indirectly तो हम लोग कुछ नहीं कर सकते हैं, so directly नहीं कर सकते हैं, so indirectly they are reducing the import of oil palm from Indonesia to protect this tropical rainforest. So the rainforest importance is incomprehensible when it comes to diversity. Sunlight is a major limiting factor. बारिश तो होता है, लेकिन again in tropical rainforest this vegetation grows in different strata, अलग layers में grow होते हैं. The vegetation is divided into different strata depending upon at what height they can reach. So अलग अलग layers में grow होते हैं, and जो lowest layer है वहाँ तक sunlight नहीं पहुँचता है, because the trees which grow very close together, they will form a thick canopy which does not allow much sunlight to reach to the soil. नीचे जो ज़मीन पे हैं, so plants which are growing at a lower height, they do not get enough sunlight. So sunlight एक limiting factor है. So a variety of strategies have been successfully developed by the plants to get sunlight. So we'll see some examples. Epiphytes are an example. Epiphytic plants, they grow on other trees. So that is one example of adaptation, जो sunlight को पाने के लिए दूसरे पेड़ों के ऊपर grow होते हैं. They are not parasitic plants, they just grow on other plants. तो moisture या nutrients trees से नहीं लेते हैं. They will absorb moisture from the air and nutrients from whatever organic matter or debris, decomposing organic matter which is available. So epiphytic plants are examples of adaptation. So location, where is this tropical rainforest located? कहाँ पर है ये? So tropical rainforests are found in the world's hottest and wettest areas which are close to the equator. ये जो areas हैं ये कहाँ हैं? Close to the equator. So tropical rainforests are restricted to small area between Tropic of Cancer and Tropic of Capricorn. तो बिटवीन द ट्रॉपिक ऑफ कैंसर एंड कैप्रिकॉन, अगर और ज़्यादा एक्यूरेटली अगर देखा है तो 10 डिग्रीज नॉर्थ to 10 degrees south. Most of it is located within this particular range. 10 degrees north of the equator and 10 degrees south of the equator. इन दोनों के बीच में ही तुमको maximum rain forest मिलेगा. So world's largest tropical rain forest is in Brazil, Amazon. Amazon rain forest जो है, that is the largest tropical rain forest. Okay, so it is seen in South America. Then you have lowland regions in Africa, so Congo basin जो है, and islands of Southeast Asia. So तुम्हारा जो Java, Sumatra and other islands near the Indonesia, Papua New Guinea, वहाँ पर भी तुमको tropical rain forest मिलेगा. So while they are also found abundantly in Sumatra and New Guinea, small areas are also found in Central America and पार्ट्स ऑफ ऑस्ट्रेलिया. छोटे छोटे पॉकेट्स हैं वहाँ पर भी. सेंट्रल अमेरिका में ग्वाटेमाला, निकारागुआ, पोर्टोरिको, इन दोज प्लेसेस यू विल सी ट्रॉपिकल रेन फॉरेस्ट. सो लार्जेस्ट अनब्रोकन स्ट्रेच ऑफ रेन फॉरेस्ट इज फाउंड इन अमेजॉन बेसिन ऑफ साउथ अमेरिका. हाफ ऑफ दिस फॉरेस्ट लाइज इन ब्राजील. ओके, सो इट होल्ड्स अबाउट 1/3 ऑफ द वर्ल्ड्स ट्रॉपिकल फॉरेस्ट. सो अमेजॉन बेसिन इज वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट एग्जाम्पल. Another 20% of the world's remaining rainforest is seen in Indonesia and Congo basin. So ये तो तुम्हारा सेंट्रल अमेरिका एंड अमेजोन बेसिन में है. देन दिस कॉन्गो बेसिन एंड ऑल्सो इन द साउथ ईस्ट एशिया, द जावा एंड सुमत्रा, पपुआ न्यू गिनी वहाँ पर है. सो दीज आर द एरियाज वेर यू विल सी ट्रॉपिकल रेन फॉरेस्ट. सो ट्रॉपिक ऑफ कैंसर एंड कैप्रिकॉन के बीच में है बोला था, राइट? बट मोस्ट ऑफ इट इज लोकेटेड 10 डिग्रीज साउथ and 10 degrees north. More accurately अगर बोला जाए तो they are found 10 degrees north and south of the equator. Climate क्या है? Obviously high temperatures and throughout the year you will see rainfall. So high rainfall and high temperature. So equator receives direct sunlight. Sunlight directly falls on this region. So this steady flow of radiation produces consistently high temperatures throughout the year. So winter and summer temperature में ज़्यादा difference नहीं होता है. So a typical daytime temperature during any time of the year is around 29 degrees 30 degrees के आसपास होता है. Okay, although temperatures can be much higher near the equator. Equator से 10 degrees तक है बोला था. जैसे जैसे equator से दूर जाओगे temperature can vary. ओके, देर इज ओनली 5 डिग्रीज डिफरेंस इन टेम्परेचर बिटवीन सीजन्स. यानी समर में और विंटर में ज़्यादा डिफरेंस नहीं होता है. इट इज 5 डिग्रीज मैक्सिमम डिफरेंस. समर में 30 है तो विंटर में 25 होगा. ओके, सो दे रिसीव वेरी हाई रेनफॉल. सो 200 to 1000 सेंटीमीटर. Right. So heavy rainfall and high temperature. So wet and dry seasons of tropical rainforest vary in their timing, duration and severity around the globe. So कौन सा सीजन ज़्यादा वेट होगा, कौन सा सीजन थोड़ा सा ड्राई होगा, वो वेरी करता है डिपेंडिंग अपॉन continent to continent. So humidity is also high during the wet season. It is bit less, obviously, common sense है. They will also have high humidity. So if you see Brazil, where your largest stretch of tropical forest is present, if you see the precipitation, so mostly precipitation जो है तुम्हारा winters में हो रहा है. Okay, and the temperature जो है ज़्यादा fluctuation नहीं है summer और winter में. Mostly it is, if you see 24 से लेकर 29 तक है, around 25 to 30 के बीच में. So 5 degrees difference होगा समर और विंटर में. ज़्यादा डिफरेंस नहीं होता है. सीजनल टेम्परेचर वेरिएशन नहीं है. ओके, एंड द प्रेसिपिटेशन इज़ वेरी हाई थ्रू आउट द ईयर होता है, बट सम सीजन्स आर in some months the precipitation will be very high, other months between can be bit low. अच्छा, soil बताया था. soil are not very rich in nutrients because so obviously it has high rainfall, तो vegetation भी होगा. So when you have more vegetation, more organic matter production will be there. जो भी leaf litter हो रहा है, it will decompose, but the decomposition rate is very fast. Faster decomposition means the nutrients will be easily lost when there is high rainfall. So organic matter जो भी हुआ है, decomposing organic matter can also be eroded because of rain, and whatever nutrients are made available because of decomposition, यानी जो mineralization process है, organic matter after decomposition with the help of bacteria, microorganisms, whatever, so it will turn into inorganic. So plants can take nutrients only in inorganic form. So जो भी organic matter है litter, it has to convert into inorganic form. So जैसे तुम्हारा amino acids हैं, for example, amino acids have to be converted into nitrate. So nitrate form में ही लेता है nitrogen को plants. So this process is called mineralization process. So whenever this mineralization happens, it happens at a faster rate in the tropical region because of temperature. Bacteria are more active at high temperature, है ना, enzymatic process है, so bacteria are more active at high temperature. So first of all, whatever organic matter is there, it will decompose at faster rate, and total decomposition होने से पहले ही बारिश होके वहाँ से निकल जाता है. So it will be easily removed because of high rainfall. Second, if there is some amount of mineralization, जो भी nutrients हैं, they can be quickly leached. The water which is moving vertically downwards in the soil, it will dissolve some of these nutrients. Nitrates are soluble, so वो beyond the reach of plants लेके चले जाता है. So plants will not get nutrients. So that is why soil is not very rich with regard to nutrients. So rainforests are nutrient poor because nutrients are not stored in them for long. Temperate grasslands में एक बताया था, carbon sequestration. The organic matter will be held for a long period of time because decomposition rate is slow, क्योंकि winters जो उसका winters में it can go up to -40 or something. So cool temperatures की वजह से, temperate region means cooler temperatures. So when the temperature is very low, the decomposition rate will be slow and organic matter can be held in the soil for long period of time. That is why carbon sequestration के लिए best climate है. Here temperatures are very high, decomposition is very fast. So heavy rains that occur in the rainforest, it will wash away most of the organic material. जो भी थोड़ा बहुत बचा है, although decomposition occurs rapidly in the hot moist conditions, many of the dead fallen leaves and other organic detritus are swept away before releasing their nutrients. बारिश ज़्यादा होता है तो organic matter will be swept away. थोड़ा बहुत जो decomposition हुआ है, some amount of mineralization may happen, but due to percolation, so water केस में हम लोग percolation बोलते हैं. So anything which dissolves in water and moves downward, we call it leached. हम लोग बोलते हैं वो leach हो गया. So nutrients which are present because some amount of mineralization will happen, they are leached away easily because of high rainfall. Okay, but nevertheless, you have large number of decomposers, fungi, bacteria, actinomycetes, different microorganisms are there. They will carry out decomposition and some of the nutrients will be available still, but इतना rich नहीं है. Soils are not very rich in nutrients. So vegetation में आओगे तो, okay, because of availability of moisture throughout the year, so vegetation is, there is plenty of vegetation. Okay, so lush growth होता है यहाँ पर. तो combination of lot of moisture and consistent year around warm temperature will allow the plenty of plant growth. So almost 2/3 of the world's flowering plants are found in rainforest. So plants grow in 4 major levels. Okay, so depending upon their height from the ground, they can be categorized into 4 levels. Okay, so because many large trees in the rainforest receive year-round sunlight and precipitation, canopy covers does not change during the year. यानी leaf shedding नहीं होता है. Canopy cover, तुम्हारा जो leaves हैं, the trees are evergreen because there is no need to shed the leaves, and the plants depending upon at what height, to what height they grow, we have 4 different layers. तो 4 major layers जो हैं तुम्हारे. So the topmost layer is called emergent layer. Actually तुम्हारा जो forest का canopy है ना, so most of the trees they will grow up to this level. So this is the canopy layer. Forest का canopy जो है of the tropical rainforest, this is the canopy, because majority of the trees will grow up to here. Some trees which are taller, some trees will emerge out of this canopy. वो उस canopy से थोड़ा बाहर आ जाते हैं. So they are bit taller. So these trees which are very tall, they emerge out of the canopy, the top layer of the forest. So these trees are called as emergent trees, और emergent layer बोलते हैं जो main canopy के बाहर आ जाता है. So majority of the trees will grow up to here. So these they will project outside. So they are called emergent. ठीक है. So majority of the trees जहाँ तक grow होता है that is called canopy layer. Emergent में क्या आएंगे तुम्हारा? It consists of tallest trees and it will support some birds, insects and animals obviously. Canopy layer, it is the thickest layer that hosts majority of the fauna and flora. Then you have understory layer. So जहाँ पे तुम्हारे young herbs या shrubs हैं, bushes हैं, they will grow up to this 3 मीटर का height होता है, up to 3 meters. Then you have forest ground. So there are 4 layers. तो tropical rainforest में जो structure है, depending upon the height of the tree, the vegetation can be divided to 4 different layers. Emergent layer में tallest trees. So emergent layer consists of small number of very large trees which emerge out of the canopy layer. Okay, so these trees need to be able to withstand the hot temperatures and strong winds that occur above the canopy in some areas. तो बहुत tall है तो they have to be stable also. बहुत ज़्यादा tall है तो wind की वजह से गिर भी सकता है. So that is why they have certain modification, right? Buttress roots होते हैं उनके. They have buttress roots which help in stabilizing the tree. Some examples are kapok tree or Ceiba pentantra. Then we have Balesia, not Basilia, Balesia elegans, Dipteryx panamensis, and Hymenolobium mesoamericanum, Lecythis ampla, and Terminalia oblonga. So some of the trees are emergent trees के examples जो हैं. So these are very tall trees, right? So Ceiba pentantra. Then we have Balesia elegans, Dipteryx panamensis. These are examples of emergent layer. Then we have Lecythis ampla, Hymenolobium species, and Terminalia oblonga. Alright, then we have canopy layer. Most of the trees are at this height. So this is the highest level of rainforest. Beyond this, only few trees will emerge. इसलिए उसको emergent बोला है. But this is the highest layer of rainforest. Majority of the trees grow up to here. It is basically roof formed by the branches and leaves of the area's largest trees. Majority of the trees का यही layer है. Some very tall trees will project outside. उनको हम लोग बोलते हैं emergent. Most of the trees they form this canopy layer. Okay. So most trees reach up to a height of 30 to 40 meters and combined with the dense cover, so they will allow very less sunlight to penetrate. तो ये जो canopy बहुत thick होता है, ये बहुत कम sunlight को allow करता है. Okay, so large evergreen trees typically dominate the sunlight of the rainforest canopy. So most of the sunlight will be captured by these trees. They will allow only very less light to penetrate. तो क्या होता है, अब sunlight penetrate नहीं हो रहा, तो some plants have adapted and examples जो हैं to get the sunlight. To get sunlight, some plants हैव अडेप्टेड टू ग्रो ऑन अदर प्लांट्स. ये प्लांट्स जो हैं एपीफाइट्स बोलते हैं इनको. दीज आर एपीफाइट्स विच ग्रो ऑन अदर प्लांट्स. बेसिकली सपोर्ट के लिए है. दे आर नॉट पैरासाइटिक प्लांट्स. दे रिक्वायर जस्ट सपोर्ट ऑन द ट्रीज बिकॉज दे वॉन्ट टू कैप्चर सनलाइट. नीचे ग्रो होंगे तो सनलाइट नहीं मिलेगा बिकॉज सनलाइट only 1 to 2% sunlight penetrates the forest canopy. So these epiphytes, they have adapted to grow on other trees. So they capture moisture from the air. उनका जो एक तो clinging roots होता है. Some roots are helpful. They have two types of roots. Clinging roots help in holding the plant to the stem or branches. Then they have हैंगिंग रूट्स विच हैव वेलेमेंट टिश्यू. स्पेशल टाइप ऑफ टिश्यू है जो हवा से मॉइस्चर को एब्जॉर्ब करता है. बिकॉज दीज प्लांट्स दे आर नॉट रूटेड इन द सॉइल, दे आर ऑन अदर प्लांट्स. और पैरासाइटिक रिलेशनशिप नहीं है. दे डू नॉट एब्जॉर्ब मॉइस्चर एंड न्यूट्रिएंट्स फ्रॉम द ट्री, दे एब्जॉर्ब मॉइस्चर फ्रॉम द एयर. सो वेलेमेंट टिश्यू इन द हैंगिंग रूट्स, दे हेल्प इन एब्जॉर्प्शन ऑफ द मॉइस्चर फॉर दिस पर्टिकुलर प्लांट. Right, so some orchids are there. Epiphytes में orchids are example. Then Bromeliaceae family के members हैं. Okay, mosses and lichens, they also grow on other plants. So for example, epiphytic orchids. So see, this orchid is growing on the stem of another tree. Here also you have an orchid. Then Bromeliaceae members हैं जो तुम्हारा even pineapple also belongs to the same family. So they also grow on other plants. Bromeliaceae members and epiphytes. These are epiphytes. Example Bromeliaceae members का भी दे सकते हो. Orchids are also there. Then you have understory where you have shrubs, herbs and vines. So basically they have a height of 3 meter or less. Okay. So this area typically receives only about 5% of the sunlight. So जो भी majority sunlight है that is blocked by the canopy layer. So shrubs, herbs and vines, they form the understory. They can reach up to height of 3 meters or 10 feet. So example of a tree growing in this particular layer is strangler fig. So it is a plant which has adapted to the lower amounts of sunlight that reach the रेन फॉरेस्ट अंडर लेयर. सो ये हम लोग देखेंगे इसका एग्जाम्पल. स्ट्रैंगलर फिग, इट हैज़ मॉडिफाइड इटसेल्फ टू गेट इनफ सनलाइट. सो इसके एडेप्टेशंस को देखेंगे. सो जो स्ट्रैंगलर फिग है, सो इट प्रोड्यूसेस ए फिग. जो है फिग में तुमने देखा होगा, इट ऑल्सो बिलोंग्स टू द सेम फैमिली सच एज बैनियन. बैनियन सेम फैमिली है, फाइकस. सो उसका जो फ्रूट है ना, फिग खाया होगा. सो उसका जो थिन है, इट विल बी, जिसका स्किन जो होता है इट इज थिक एंड द सीड्स आर ऑन द इनर लेयर. ऐसे सीड्स होता है. सो बर्ड्स व्हेन दे ईट इट, दे विल ईट द फ्लैश अलॉन्ग विद दैट, सीड्स भी चले जाता है. एंड व्हेन दे एक्सक्रीट, उनका जो एक्सक्रीटा है उसमें तुम्हारा सीड्स रहते हैं. सो द सीड्स विल जर्मिनेट इन द ऑर्गेनिक मैटर एंड सो बर्ड्स दे विल, ये जो सीड्स हैं दे रिक्वायर सनलाइट फॉर जर्मिनेशन. सो दो सीड्स विच फॉल ऑन द ग्राउंड, दे विल नॉट रिसीव एनी सनलाइट बिकॉज ब्लॉक हो रहा है. सो दो सीड्स विल नॉट जर्मिनेट. बट बर्ड्स व्हेन दे ईट एंड दे फ्लाई एंड दे सिट ऑन द ब्रांचेस ऑफ tall trees, other trees, they will shit there, excrete there, and those seeds which are present in the excreta, that will receive enough sunlight to germinate. So वो जो seed germinate होता है, it will produce a root which will drop from the tree. वो tree से grow होके branch से नीचे तक जाता है soil में. It will get established in the soil and it will start producing branches and leaves which will grow on the tree. वो ट्री के ऊपर ग्रो होते हैं, इसके ब्रांचेस स्प्रेड हो जाते हैं एंड इट विल रिसीव मोस्ट ऑफ द सनलाइट एंड इट विल स्टार्ट प्रोड्यूसिंग रूट्स दैट विल कंस्ट्रिक्ट द प्लांट. वो प्लांट को पूरा, जिस ट्री के ऊपर ये सीड जर्मिनेट हुआ है उसको पूरा का पूरा रैप कर लेता है. इट विल कंस्ट्रिक्ट the tree, and ultimately the tree will die because it will not receive any sunlight. So when the birds eat the tree's fruit, they spread the seeds through waste and by dropping them on the branches of higher trees. So जो भी seed नीचे गिरा है soil में वो germinate नहीं होता है because sunlight is required. So this plant can take root on the host tree branch and drop a long root on the ground and eventually strangles the host tree as it grows by taking most of its sunlight. जो host tree को मिल रहा था वो पूरा ये capture कर लेता है. So like this. So bird आएगा, bird आके इधर बैठ के it will excrete. So seeds, so the seed which is there on the branch, it will germinate and it will produce a root. ये दिख रहा है, ये root जो है तुम्हारा soil तक reach होगा, it will establish itself and now this plant will start producing leaves. वो tree को पूरा branches में अपने branches को spread करता है. So it will grow and produce leaves and branches on the tree. It will capture most of the sunlight. So tree को अभी sunlight नहीं मिलेगा and it will also produce extensive root system which will strangle the tree. Ultimately, the host tree will die because most of its sunlight will be captured by the stranglefield. ये भी एक adaptation है to get more sunlight. Sunlight limiting factor है. बाकी जो chaparral biome में था, chaparral biome में क्या है? Moisture नहीं है. So adaptations were to survive in those harsh conditions. Here you have excess moisture, temperature, सब कुछ है, sunlight नहीं है. So here the adaptations are mainly to get enough sunlight. Okay. Now coming to the last layer which is ground stratum, जमीन पे जो है. So it receives less than 2% of sunlight. It is also known as forest floor. So the ground in a forest is almost always covered by shade due to the canopy. So vegetation is very sparse. Ground पे कोई vegetation grow नहीं होता है and it is and more restricted at the ground layer. So bottom layers are covered with leaf litter. So whatever leaves are shed and branches decomposing wood वो सब होता है यहाँ पर. So fungus is the most common vegetation that you see. Fungus हो गया तुम्हारा other microorganisms that are very common on the ground layer. So these are 4 different layers of the tropical rainforest. So modifications अगर तुम देखोगे trees में क्या है? So some of the adaptations. So in the tropical rainforest, most trees in the rainforest have wide buttress roots. ये buttress roots क्या है? Because some trees are very tall, to support that particular height, they have buttress trees. Okay. So trees grow tall to get more sunlight. उस height को support करने के लिए they have buttress trees. So then you have lianas or vines. So lianas are basically vines that are woody. Okay. So they grow around trees as they bid to reach sunlight. So they are creepers. They are creepers. They creep onto the other plants to get more sunlight. So the leaves of many trees are waxy and have drip tips. So drip tip का मतलब क्या है? So this is drip tip. तो leaves का tips जो है, they are modified so that whatever water is received through rain, it will drop and does not stay on the leaf. तो leaf के ऊपर ज़्यादा moisture होगा तो it will allow the growth of microorganisms and it will lead to rotting and all. So the leaves of many trees are waxy and have drip tips to allow water to run off them. उसके ऊपर stay नहीं करेगा, water will drop. It is so that water does not gather on the leaves and cause rotting and allows water to reach the roots of the roots on the forest floor. Okay. So leaf stems are also flexible to allow the leaves to move with the sun to maximize photosynthesis. So some of the adaptations. So plant adaptations में पहला बोला था drip tip होता है, waxy leaves होते हैं. Okay. So tropical rainforest plants also have adaptation to take in whatever little sunlight is available on the dark forest floor. So leaves are also large क्योंकि moisture plenty available है. So in deserts or in biomes where rainfall is very less, leaves are small, they are modified into thorns and all that. Here the leaves are very large because plenty of moisture is there. Excessive moisture को transpiration के through plant will be losing them. So other plants like orchids, bromeliads and ferns, they grow as epiphytes. Plants that grow on other plants. Epi means on, phyte mean plant. So these are the plants which grow on other plants, not parasitic. They just require the host for support ताकि वो sunlight को ले सके heights पे. Okay, strangler fig, they also require sunlight, so they have this modification. So sunlight, the strangler fig seeds will not germinate in the absence of sunlight. So only the seeds which are eaten by birds and when the bird excretes on other plants, तभी ये germinate होके grow हो पाता है. So we have seen the case of strangler fig. Then, so this is the whole story. वो कैसे germinate होता है, it will send a root and then it will produce leaves and branches which will block the sunlight of the main host and all that. That story is given. You can read it when it is uploaded. ठीक है. Now, many trees have huge ridges called as buttress root near the base to support them, okay, and to breathe out maximum oxygen. So nutrients in the soil are near the surface, so rainforest have quite shallow roots. Okay, the buttress supports the tree. वो जो बड़े बड़े हाइट के ट्रीज है उसको सपोर्ट करने के लिए मैकेनिकल सपोर्ट, बिकॉज द वेलोसिटी ऑफ विंड इज वेरी हाई एट द हायर ऑल्टीट्यूड्स. So some trees have above ground roots called as prop roots or stilt roots. So this is prop root or stilt root seen on the plant. ये जनरली क्या है ना, मार्श प्लांट्स में या फिर तुम्हारे मैंग्रोव्स में तुमको दिखते हैं prop roots और stilt roots. But here also you will see them for extra support. Some trees produce prop roots. Generally mangroves में तुमको दिखता है ये. So some tropical rainforest plants are carnivores or meat eating. तो तुम्हारे जो इंसेक्टिवोरस प्लांट्स हैं, नेपेंथिस हो गया, पिचर प्लांट और सनड्यू प्लांट, ओके, वीनस फ्लाई ट्रैप विच कैप्चर्स द इंसेक्ट्स. सो वेर एवर देर इज नाइट्रोजन डेफिशिएंसी, इंडिया में भी तुमको नॉर्थ ईस्ट रीजन में तुमको मिलेंगे ये प्लांट्स, वेर यू हैव ट्रॉपिकल रेन फॉरेस्ट. सो नॉर्थ ईस्ट रीजन में भी तुमको इंसेक्टिवोरस प्लांट्स मिलेंगे इंडिया में. सो दे विल फीड ऑन द इंसेक्ट्स एंड गेट देयर नाइट्रोजन. सो they attract the insects. Either they will produce nectar or they will produce foul smell or bad smell to attract the insects and they will capture them. ठीक है. Then fauna में आ जाओगे तो what kind of fauna is seen? So apes मिलेंगे तुमको. कॉन्गो बेसिन में तुमको जो भी मेनली चिंपैंजीज हैं या गोरिल्ला हैं, दे आर फाउंड इन कॉन्गो बेसिन. अफ्रीका में मिलेंगे तुमको. अगर साउथ ईस्ट एशिया में जाओगे तो एप्स में तुमको औरंगटान्स मिलेंगे. साउथ ईस्ट एशिया, इंडोनेशिया पर औरंगटान्स. So they are another large ape which is seen. So some examples of animals which is seen in tropical, which are seen in tropical rainforest are howler monkeys. Howler monkeys क्यों बोलते हैं? Because चिल्लाते रहते हैं. They produce sound. They scream. That is why they are called as howler monkeys. Then you have brocket deer. Lemurs are also there. So lemurs, elephants, bats, sloth. So this is a sloth. So these are very lazy animals. They hang down from the trees. They have also modified. उन्होंने उनके body के ऊपर तुम्हारा जो है algae grow होता है, so that it will give a camouflage effect. They are very slow, so predators can easily catch them. So to mask itself and to have camouflage, the algae grows on the fur to give its to give this camouflage effect so that predators cannot catch it or it cannot be identified. Then scorpions हैं. Then you have koti. So agouti है. This is also a kind of your rodent. Then you have corosaurs, tinamu. These are the birds. Then silk anteaters. Then you have woolly opossums हैं. Then kinkajou. They are also related. Opossum, kinkajous. Armadillos हैं. These are some of the animals. So animal adaptations में आओगे तो, so first example is of your toucans. So these are the birds which have very large bill. Okay, so they have adapted by developing a long large bill. This adaptation allows the bird to reach the fruit on the branches where it cannot sit. अभी जो पतला सा ब्रांच होगा तो उसके ऊपर तो बैठ नहीं सकता ये, so it will sit on a thick branch and it will reach the fruits which are on the very thin branches where it cannot sit. And it can also, its bill is also very hard, so fruits को open करने के लिए, खाने के लिए यूज होता है. Sloth जो है, अभी देखा था sloth, it is a very lazy animal. So sloth uses a behavioral adaptation and camouflage to survive in the forest. So it moves very slowly, so predator can easily catch it. So blue-green algae grows on its fur so that it will make it difficult to be identified. So easily predator के दिखता नहीं है. Then leaf cutter ants. So these ants, what they do, they cut the leaves and they will carry the leaves to their home. जो भी तुम्हारा क्या बोलते हैं, टर्मेटोरियम या ant hills जो हैं, they will carry these leaves which they have cut, and these leaves mixed with the saliva of the ants, they provide food for the fungus. So these ants, they grow fungus. ये fungus को grow करते हैं. They feed on the fungus, not on the leaves. So ये leaves जो carry कर रहे हैं ना, so these leaves will be mixed with the saliva of the ants and it will allow the growth of fungus. तो fungus grow होता है and वो fungus को खाते हैं ants. Okay, so ants bury the leaf pieces and the combination of leaves and ant saliva encourage the growth of fungus. So these are fungus growers. ये fungus को grow करते हैं and उस fungus को खाते हैं. So many rainforest animals use camouflage to disappear. जैसे stick insects हैं. So stick insect, they look like sticks, so they can easily disappear basically. So some butterflies, their wings looks like leaves. कलरफुल बटरफ्लाई होंगे तो उनको दूसरे इंसेक्ट्स खा लेंगे या फिर रेप्टाइल्स खा लेंगे. बट इफ दे अपीयर लाइक लीव्स, इट विल हैव कैमोफ्लेज इफेक्ट एंड दे विल नॉट बी आइडेंटिफाइड. देन प्रीडेटर्स भी कैमोफ्लेज इफेक्ट करते हैं. जैसे ये स्नेक है, आर यू एबल टू सी द स्नेक? स्नेक का बॉडी दिख रहा है. सो देयर इज अ स्नेक इन द लीव्स. सो कैमोफ्लेज इज ऑफ कोर्स यूजफुल टू प्रीडेटर ऑल्सो. So यहाँ पर जो एग्जाम्पल है, द बोआ कंस्ट्रिक्टर इज एन एग्जाम्पल फॉर कैमोफ्लेज प्रेडेटर. देन सम एनिमल्स दे हैव ब्राइट कलर टू वार्न ऑफ द प्रेडेटर. जैसे तुम्हारा ये पॉइजन एरो फ्रॉग है, टू स्केयर द प्रेडेटर दे हैव ब्राइट कलर्स. देन मंकीज एंड एप्स, दे हैव वेल डेवलप्ड फोर लिम्स so that they can easily hang on the trees and they can move from one canopy to another canopy. So brachiation developed है apes में and they can easily avoid the predator because they can jump from one branch to another branch. Then you have another mammal. So you have II. So this is a Madagascar primate. So Madagascan primate है. ये नॉक्टर्नल हैबिट इसने डेवलप कर लिया. बिकॉज ऑफ नॉक्टर्नल हैबिट, रात में निकलता है तो प्रीडेटर्स को अवॉइड कर सकता है. एंड इट हैज़ ऑल्सो डेवलप्ड दिस हैबिट ऑफ बिल्डिंग इट्स नेस्ट ऑन द टॉलेस्ट ट्रीज. सो डे टाइम में वो टॉल ट्रीज में ऊपर नेस्ट बनाता है एंड नाइट को वो खाने के लिए निकलता है. सो इट विल मूव इन द नाइट. सो नॉक्टर्नल है टू अवॉइड द प्रीडेटर्स. सो लार्ज आईज ऑफ द II, it will help in capture more light so that it can see better. So II take advantage of tall rainforest trees to build its nest in concealment at the highest trees to avoid the predators. इसका जो और एक है, इसका hands में भी modification हुआ है. So II is oddly elongated middle finger. So you can see the fingers here. तो middle वाला finger दिख रहा है, ये वाला, the middle finger. So this one, middle finger, it is used for uh, catching the insects from the small holes on the bark of the tree. So it is evolved to scoop the insects from small holes in the bark of the tree where the shorter fingers could not reach them. तो middle वाला finger वो develop हो गया, excessively develop हुआ है because to easily catch the insects. Then South American jaguar, so it has learned to swim. Okay, so not only on the land it can capture the prey, it can also capture fish or tortoise or caiman, which is a small alligator. Okay, fish, turtle and alligators. So it has developed this adaptation to find food. So not only on the forest floor but also in the water. So much small predator like Amazon horned frog has developed a body that can mimic the leaf litter. तो insects उसको easily देख नहीं पाते हैं. So it looks like leaf litter because of its color and all thing. So it can easily capture insects. Threats क्या है? Amazon या फिर तुम्हारा जो भी tropical rainforest है, main threats obviously population. So they are moving into the rainforest, they are cutting the trees for wood for construction purpose and everything. So increase in the demand for tropical hardwood. Okay, tropical rainforest is one of the most important source. तो पेड़ों को कट कर रहे हैं, lumbering activity and all thing. Then cattle grazing in South America to raise the cattle. Then soya plantations, they are cutting down the forest for agriculture purpose. Palm oil plantation in Indonesia, same thing is happening there. Mining activity is also going on in many developing countries जैसे South America, Brazil है, mining activity or mineral oil exploration, all those things. Hydroelectric dams, dams construct करोगे तो obviously the water level will increase and it will be submerged, eradicating the flora and fauna found in that area. So those are the threats. Okay, so it is already 9:30. I tried to move very fast but still ठीक है, it's okay. Two biomes are remaining, desert biome and aquatic biome. It will take around 40 minutes to complete these two. So tomorrow what we'll do, we'll finish these two and we'll finish biogeochemical cycles. So 3 cycles हम लोग mainly concentrate करेंगे, nitrogen cycle, sulfur cycle and carbon cycle, right? So we'll complete biogeochemical cycles and the rest of the 2 biomes tomorrow. All right. So any doubts in today's class? Mostly it is factual. जो भी थोड़ा तुम्हारा geography का part है, you will learn that in physical geography how the pressure belts shift with season and that is responsible for Mediterranean type of climate or rainfall in different regions. वो तुम geography में पढ़ोगे. Different types of deserts, cold deserts हैं, hot deserts हैं, will come across those things also and you will have different reasons for development of that type of biome. So they are related. तो geography में भी तुम पढ़ोगे. There they will be focusing mostly on physical geography. Here we are mostly focusing on flora and fauna adaptations. हम लोग यहाँ पर mainly adaptations and flora and fauna के ऊपर concentrate कर रहे हैं. In physical geography you will learn what is the reason for this particular biome, those things. Okay. So if there are any doubts in this particular class, you can ask me or else you can respond in the chat box if you don't have any other doubts. So we can conclude this session here. Tomorrow we'll finish these biomes and we'll finish biogeochemical cycles. Definitely. I'll make sure that we'll finish that portion tomorrow. Shall we conclude this session? Is there any doubt? Okay. Good night everyone. So we'll meet tomorrow same time.